What is happening, guys? Welcome back to Red Beard's Garage, and on today's episode we're going to be testing out the new Harbor Freight Predator Max Performance 459cc against the tried and true 420cc. Now the 459 is a hemispheric head, and in the 420 you can get a non-Hemi or a Hemi variant, and we have the Hemi variant here today because we want it to be as equal as possible of a match. So basically the difference between a Hemi and non-Hemi, the part numbers are on screen between the two of the 420cc, is pretty much valve size. You have a little bit bigger valves in the 420s, Hemis versus non-Hemi, and that valve size carries over with the 459cc. Now the performance difference between these two engines is a 23% gain in torque with the 459 and a 21% gain in horsepower, which and that is on paper. We don't know that because we don't have a dyno, but that's what they are claiming the difference is. 23% more torque, 21% more horsepower over the 420. So we're going to see if you can feel those powers in a real world scenario. So what we're going to do is install our 420cc first on our tried and true Blueberry go-kart. It is the ugliest go-kart that we own, and but it's a great go-kart for testing because it has front and rear suspension. We can hook up the electric start. It's a really good test platform to really beat around our track. We'll do a hill climb with top speed and see if we can tell with numbers if the gains are true in the real world with the old butt dyno. Now to get that power to the ground, we're going to be using Go Power Sports 40 series CVT. This is going to be your go-to CVT from anywhere from a 301 up to the 459cc. You wouldn't use this in a V-twin situation unless you have a small V-twin like a 16 horse. These are great CVTs, and it's going to work all the way up until we get into some real horsepower with these engines. We will be done a full road to horsepower on this engine, showing you each individual part in stages throughout the video series, and we're going to always go back and test it against those stock horsepower numbers and the previous stage. So basically when we get to like stage 2 where we're doing cam and stuff, we'll compare that to the video before and the stock numbers. So it'll be a real world testing of all these parts. So we're super pumped. Let's get the go-kart in. We got to do a little bit of maintenance work to get it ready, and we'll slap this 420. The only thing we're going to do is we're going to pull off the gas tanks on both boxes, and we're not going to be using the electric start switches. We're going to use the one mounted in the dash. So let's get to it. We're going to have to do a few things to get the 420 ready. Of course, first off is put oil in it. These engines do not come with oil in them. Please don't start them up without it. We have done that. Guess what? Don't work out well. Our first quart, you can see we've already opened it because we use Lucas high zinc additive, and we're using 1030 synthetic. This is what I run in every single one of these go-kart engines, and I always put a good splash of high zinc additive. It's shown on screen. It works good with helping breaking in parts, and it adds zinc back to parts that you may lose material over the runtime of the engine. So we're going to put this full quart in. Like I said, this is the one that we've already added the high zinc, and then we're basically going to keep topping the engine off until it starts to pour out the spout, and then you know it's full. So I've actually already unbolted this gas tank because we had it off for some other videos. So I'm just going to remove it because our frame does have a gas tank on it, and we're not going to need this on there. So the only other thing we're going to remove is the key switch box because there's no need to have this. So we're going to unplug this here. This is our kill switch wire going to our coil. We will unplug it. Then we also have this yellow wire here. This is going to be for our low oil sensor. We just need to unplug it, and then we can unbolt this whole box off here and remove it as well as this. So we're going to need an 8 socket and a 10 mil wrench. Now both these engines are going to have a charging coil. They produce a very, very low amount of charging. So it's really not even going to be enough to replenish your battery from electric starts, depending on how much you electric start it. But they do both have it. We're not going to be using it for this particular setup because this is only a temporary, just testing benchmark. Last thing is this 8 on this box. Now this wire coming out of the block right here is our charging coil. They come standard with one. You can add a second one to it to get a little bit more, but again, they don't produce enough to really do anything. And I don't even keep these electric start boxes. Don't prefer them, so this is going right in the trash. We're going to do the same thing on our 459. We're going to remove this box here, unplug everything, remove the gas tank, and put oil in it. So we're not going to film it on both engines, but we can go ahead and bolt up the CVT onto this block. You can find links to any part that we use in today's video located down below. Now, if you're looking at the block, we have the muffler and the head set up here. The CVT is going to be orientated just like so, and you're going to want to hang this off the side of a workbench like this so you can clear the drop down of the CVT. Now, the kit does come with 4 bolts to use to bolt up this backing plate. So we're going to snug up 1 bolt. So on these kits, you can see a various amount of bolting holes. We're going to use the upper portions, and you can clock this downhill or uphill. I find the center holes on the top row is the best ones to mount this. So we can tighten up all these using a 1/2 inch. And that's it to mounting the backing plate. You can see we have perfect amount of clearance between our heat shield and everything. It's going to clear everything real nice. Now, our sprocket that's going to run down to our axle is located behind this CVT pulley. And most of the time, we're going to probably pull this pulley off and put another washer, because if we look down in there, our chain is going to get into our pulley. These are all going to be set up like this. So we're going to use a socket, pull this nut off, and put enough washers in between the pulley and the sprocket to give us enough clearance for our chain to run back. Then we can start installing our front pulley. To use a 15/16 socket to pull that rear nut off, and then we can slide this pulley off. You can see we have plenty of washers behind there, and that's just going to space this away from this plate so our chain will clear. We can actually remove one of those, put our sprocket back on. We can place one of our washers on this side, and we can just test by looking, get the key lined up. Now just look down. Looks like I'm going to need one more washer on this side to match this, and that's just going to keep our chain away from this bell. So what I did was I put 2 of the included washers on the outside of this sprocket, and I left the single one against the bearing. That's going to give us plenty of spacing so our chain doesn't rub the backing plate or the pulley. So now we can slide our pulley on, just align the key. I'm holding the back of the jack shaft, sliding it on. Now we can tighten up this nut. I want to not over tighten it. I want to make sure the jack shaft isn't moving in and out, and we have free spin of our pulley. So the kit comes with 7 of these thick washers. We're going to start with 3 on the crankshaft and slide those on. And what we're going to use these for is spacing. We want both of our bells, the center of this and the center of our drive pulley. This is driven. The one that goes on the crankshaft is our drive. We want those center to center to be dead even. We don't want one pulley to be off from each other, or you're going to get excess belt wear on our CVT. So what we can do is we can take our drive pulley, which has a key built inside as well. We can line it up and just eyeball align this, and it looks like we could deal with losing one of them. You can also take a straight edge and lay down in here, a ruler of some sort, and see if it's hitting in the center area of this pulley. Once you get that set up, we can put our nut, our bolt in the end of this and throw our belt on. Our belt, we're just going to hook it on the front, rotate it over the rear pulley, like so. It's going to come with 2 different bolts, depending on what engine, depends on your thread pitch. We're going to use the smaller of the 2. We have this washer that is kind of domed out. We're going to face the dome outwards. We have a lock washer on there. We just tighten this up. Make sure to consult your chiropractor before lifting these. This is Probably a little bit over 100 pounds with the CVT on it. But, you know. There we go. Ye old stomping grounds. We got a lot of wind today, so sorry if you're getting wind noise. I'm trying to block it. But we have the blueberry with the chrome rims, and we've got the GoPro set up, so we're going to do the same thing we did on the mini bikes. 0 to top speed, then we're going to find a place to see like 30 miles per hour, let's say, and then compare that against the 459. That's better than I thought.
Yes,
so,
sir.
30, did it lose it again?
Yeah, you just got it.
Did you ever try to update it, Big Dumb Stupid?
No, I would never do that.
Oh, sorry, beg my pardon. All right, so 35 top speed. That's actually better than I thought for a stock governor. It's 7.2 to 1 with 23-inch tires. Whoa! So Lonnie just found out that it will not climb the hill with a stock engine. It just, I guess, just didn't have the power.
Well, no, it's from that rain we had. The tires just started slipping. I started spinning like crazy.
Okay. Okay, so what we're going to do is he's going to do a hot lap through the woods, and we're going to stop his time when he gets here. So he's going to get into position and hammer down, play up. So now it's 4:59 time, player. Woo! Hammer down. See if you can do a burnout by holding the brakes. We got to switch this engine out, and we literally just drove it. So I threw the Milwaukee fan blowing across, and you can completely touch the muffler now. We rode it, what, 2 minutes ago? I mean, like 5.
This thing has been
a lifesaver.
Yeah. We've done it when you weld it too, and we had to touch around in something. And
I thought, when I first saw the fans, I'm like, who's going to actually use those fans? I use it all the time. This is handy.
Great purchase.
So now we're going to slap on this 459, 25% more torque, 21% more horsepower. I think is the numbers 23 to 21. I can't remember. But so we should
be the same top speed though, right?
Yeah, exact same. Long as it's revving the same. And we did take the throttle stop out. These engines come factory with a throttle stop screw there that stops this from going. That's the only modification we did. Governor's not zip tied or anything. So top speed, you said 35. The GoPro is a little more accurate. So we're going to go off what it says. It could be lower or higher. So all we got to do is loosen up the chain, unhook all the wires and the throttle, and then pull this thing off. We're going to use the same CVT.
Yes.
There's no belt wear whatsoever. CVT looks brand new, so we don't have to.
It did slip going up that, well, when I had to stop on that hill, so.
Yeah, it just didn't have the power to turn them wheels over on that steep hill. So, I mean, this isn't nothing that'll blow your mind, but it's just to show you the comparison between the 420 and the 459. We didn't expect crazy numbers, let's face it. We expect crazy numbers from that.
What?
999 cc behind it.
It's scooting forward on us.
They're a runaway. We got a big dumb face. So this will be Lonnie's first and mine. I've never rode the 459 at all.
Yeah, this is all new.
So he's gonna take it down the driveway first, just see if you can tell all out power difference. Okay. And then we're gonna do the trail, then the top speed run, and we'll add them up at the end of the video. So let's do it. I gotta choke him. The only thing we haven't hooked up, electric start and everything's hooked up, but the choke I don't mess with because we're gonna put a Mikuni on it. Hammer down. Oh yeah, cammed out. Do it again. Yeah, burn the road up, baby. It's different. So you can already tell, which he shouldn't get any top speed difference, just torque.
So a couple things.
Yep, go and shut up. Out of the hole, you're going to
definitely feel it out of the hole. It feels way slower top end though. Like it's not overthrowing. Like the other one, you can feel it still climbing. Like it's,
so hit the. So one thing when you're, I didn't take the throttle stop out.
That's why.
Let me go grab the screwdriver.
It was like, oh yeah, this. Oh.
Yeah, I noticed it. I was like, well, maybe. Okay, let's go. First person screwdriver. Okay, so this is the only thing we took out of the. Oh yeah, dude, you was just getting a baby bit of throttle. So I want you to turn around and come back this way and start in the gravel again. Throttle stop screw out. Test number 2. Now they always need choked until they're fully. Go ahead.
I'm just gonna baby it turning around so.
Yeah, and then come back. Start right there. Look at that. See this in an upcoming video. Lonnie got his new wheels that matches his truck. They're freaking sick. I'm in love with this wheel company. Go to Go-Kart Kings and check them out. Ready. Holy wood. That's way better. Way better, Grayson. Way better. It's way better.
Okay.
Say it's way better.
Way better.
There you go there.
Trash.
Oh, okay. Lonnie's just having a good hootin' scootin' time. Definitely, you could tell that thing took off hard.
Way faster.
Yeah, that was impressive. Like stock, this is like a $50 difference.
Yeah,
too.
buy this one.
Yeah, for sure. All right, meet me on the trail, player. On your mark, get set, go.
Perfect.
So, not any faster. Like we're talking a minute and a half because I forgot to hit the button, but it's like a 123. Do you think it's because you're trying to baby it?
Yeah. I went slow through that section. Honestly,
yeah,
I
it's
felt like I was flying through here.
It says a minute 24.
And it was a minute 18 last time.
Minute 25.
So
No, you're like a minute faster, probably
a
tops.
second.
Sorry, yeah, a second. I don't know why I'm saying a minute. It seems like it hit the governor a lot faster that time, like bounced off the governor.
You win. Perfect. So, screenshot it. Did it feel like it got there faster? Like, let's say to like 30 or something, or 25.
I'd say it shaved maybe a second or two off.
Okay. So, but you can tell the difference, right?
Yeah.
All right. So we'll go over there and climb the hill and then load her up, baby. So I don't know if you could hear that, but it did skip a chain tooth on the sprocket.
It definitely climbed that better.
Oh, did it?
That felt way faster.
Yeah, I mean, you take off way harder. Yeah, I know.
I just wanted to do a little bit.
You skip the tooth going up that.
Yeah,
Burn around up, jump it.
Okay, now let's get down to the meat and taters of this video, the actual results that we found. So the 459 versus the 420, of course we knew the 459 was going to be better because it made a little bit more power over the 420cc. So what we found out was we was a half a second faster from 0 to 30 mile per hour. We got 3 mile per hour more top speed, and it could be that the 459 is revving just a little bit higher because the same gearing ratio, same tire size, same everything. So 3 mile per hour more and half a second faster from 0 to 30. Not massive numbers, but there is a difference at the end of the day. In the track, we did 2 seconds faster on lap time. Lonnie feels as if he could have got even faster, but we was throwing the chain when we did the 459 because I think he may have ran it pretty hard on the test lap and might have bent the sprocket. So on this one real technical spot, he said he felt like he had to let out of it or he's going to kick the chain. You can watch the behind the scenes video that's going to come out next week. It shows a lot that happened. We messed up a few things and had to replace a bunch of stuff on this cart, and it's a pretty good video, so we would love for you to check that out. But at the end of the day, is the 459 worth your extra money? I think it definitely is. You're going to tell a difference. That's a lot of value you're getting for $50. But if you're planning on doing a big build on it really soon, then I would say go with the 420 because there's a lot more parts on the market for the 420 over the 459. Will there be a billet flywheel and rod for the 459? Probably. But when will that happen? I don't know right now. We will be doing the road to horsepower on this 459 so you can see each individual part get installed, and we go do real world testing. We're going to do a different hill climbing stuff on the road to horsepower so you can really get some good hard numbers on this stuff. So let me know what you thought about the video. Make sure to check out the links in the video description for everything on this go-kart and the parts that'll fit the 420 and 459. They do help us out a ton. So comment down below, like, subscribe, follow us on Instagram, Facebook, and TikTok for behind the scenes shots. So thank you guys so much for watching. Let me know which engine you would pick in the comment section below. We love you and God bless.